Oh my god, Bern, again, another episode of the Bodacious Rant. It's like I just saw you.
What? It's crazy.
It is crazy. Hello, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well and enjoying life, I'll tell you those who aren't enjoying life, those characters from the newest Hulu film, Hellraiser, which is I guess a reboot / remake from the original 1988 film, both inspired by Clive Barker's book, Hellraiser. And this one was directed by, let me see, I'm going to pull it up real quick.
David Bruckner.
David Bruckner. What? I know I've heard of him before. What else has he done recently?
So he's directed The Ritual, which was a movie that came out, the horror movie on Netflix.
I love
and
that
The Night
movie.
House.
That's another solid one. We saw that as a screening, and I was like, what the fuck did we just watch? And actually did really well ratings-wise, so I kind of want to rewatch it just to see how much they changed, how much they didn't. So
I mean, I haven't gone back and seen the finished product, so yeah, I am interested to see what it looks like now that it's done, because I did really enjoy it as like a work in progress type of thing. It was cool.
It was one of the few screenings that for the most part it was pretty completed, because there have been some that were like concept art and hardly CGI renderings still being on there, so it was very interesting. But anyways, like I said, guys, this is a new movie. However, we are not doing any spoilers for this one, because again, this is a movie I definitely think it's worth watching for sure, especially since it's on Hulu. So if you already have it, you don't have to go to the theater. You don't have to do anything like that. The question is, would this movie do well in the theater like I thought Prey would? Maybe not so much, just because it is it's definitely more of a niche audience than I think Prey was. You know what I mean, Bern?
Yeah, I mean, Prey has that built-in Predator audience, action movies, like sci-fi thing, it's had a long lineage of successful blockbusters, so I guess that one has a little bit more brand recognition than Hellraiser, which I guess has been a little bit of more niche thing, even
like
within the
following.
horror genre. Yeah, like a cult movie, basically.
For sure. So we're gonna get started, guys. Again, this is no spoilers, so you guys are more welcome to stick around, and I hope you do, because as always, I'd love to remind you guys, please give us a like, ring the bell, and of course subscribe. It's always appreciated from fellow ranters and people who aren't subscribed to us. So thank you, guys. This one takes place in modern day, and it's about this girl. Oh my god, I gotta look up the cast list. I'm sorry, I've only seen the movie once.
The character was named Riley. I remember. I forget, like, her name is a little bit harder to pronounce, but yeah, the main character, Riley.
Yeah, by Odessa Azion, I believe, or Azion. Never seen her in anything before, so that was...
No, me neither.
That was kind of nice that most of these actors in this movie, I feel like all the actors, to be honest, have been people I've never seen before, so I thought that was really nice. And essentially, she is a recovering addict, and she happens to stumble upon this mysterious puzzle box, and in doing so, she just starts a whole chain reaction of misery, murder, disappearances, and brings upon herself the fate of these creatures known as the Cenobites. And that's about as basically as I can go through it without really spoiling it. This is very... It's similar to the original 1980 film, compared... Like, essentially they have the same, like, almost the same characters, some similar situations. But you can kind of watch one without the other, and you don't feel like you have... Like, you don't feel like... This is one of the ones you don't have to watch the original to watch it. You know what I mean, Brun?
I mean, I guess so, yeah, because I haven't seen any of the original Hellraiser movies. And I felt like, the movie did a good job of, like, explaining, like, what their deal is. Like, I came in not really knowing anything, and by the end of the movie, I was like, okay, I understand, like, what the Cenobites are, and, what their whole their whole deal is. So yeah, I don't think you have to have prior knowledge going into this one, since it is a little bit of like a reboot. But I guess I don't know, from like people who are from the perspective of fans of the franchise, I don't know if they have a little bit more coming into it that they can notice. I'm sure there might be like certain things that they can pick out and that's something that I, as someone who came in as a new viewer, wouldn't notice, and it's something for the fans. I would suspect, at least. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I've only seen the first two, because as far as I was looking, like, ratings wise, the first two are the only ones that actually did decent. The first one especially, the second one okay, and then the rest of them going forward were just I don't know, not good. So maybe if that's and if everybody's into those movies, like the true fans, that's awesome. More power to you. I've only seen the first two, and this one I felt like it's very similar to how Evil Dead rebooted the original Evil Dead. That's kind of what I got with this. That it's better in some ways, but will ever beat the original? Not so much in my opinion. It definitely doesn't have that same BDSM feel because that was like a big feeling with the Hellraiser things. Like the Cenobites are basically more of they're like demon as the great quote is, they're demons to some, angels to others. They explore the sensation, the experience, as they call it, air quotes. So that aspect wasn't in this movie so much. It was definitely more of the body horror and mutilation feeling to it. So that was cool. I thought the acting was pretty solid. The plot paced itself pretty well. I couldn't really see too many plot holes in it or anything. There were just a lot. There were some pretty cool moments though. When the Cenobites like started coming into play every time in the movie, I was like, "Oh dang, this is pretty cool. This is different. I'm liking this." But what did you think about it, Bern? Before we give my before I start really finishing off my ranting.
So yeah, I mean, I thought the movie overall was just kind of okay. You know, like maybe I mean, I didn't really come with like certain expectations again. I hadn't seen any of the other Hellraiser movies, so I wasn't coming in expecting anything from those like to be, you know, I didn't have any preconceived notions basically. So I was coming in ready to accept it like for what it was, and I thought it kind of dragged its feet a little bit. You know, like I guess you know, the pacing didn't seem to be an issue for you, which is awesome. Just for me, it felt like it took a little while to get going, and every time like there were those awesome set pieces, it felt like there was a lot of downtime in between those where not a lot of interesting stuff was happening. And at the same time too, I did like the actors. Like I think they did like a pretty serviceable job. Like no one stuck out as like giving a bad performance or anything. I just felt like they were a little bit underwritten as characters, and in a movie like this where bad things happen to people that don't deserve it, I want to feel a little bit more for them when it does happen, and when the kills like started coming in, and when the Cenobites started showing up, there wasn't anything for me to like sort of latch onto to sort of feel that loss when for the characters when that all that stuff was going down. So I really wish like I felt a little bit more in this movie and was a little bit more engaged with the characters. But I mean, other than that, like on the positive sides, I thought the set design was great. The atmosphere and the tone was really really well done. Like I really liked all the internal architectures of the sets that we're in, and the designs and the practical makeup of the Cenobites was really awesome. And I think it's the highlight of the movie in my opinion. They all have their own distinct, you know, designs, and it feels like it's very real and tangible. So they did such a really good job with them. I would have liked a little bit more, you know, like just for them to pop up a little bit more often. But with what we got from them and those set pieces, I thought all that was really really well done.
Yeah, I mean, as seeing the original, I was kind of hoping I wanted to see a couple more characters from the Cenobites come into play a little bit. Only really literally a couple, but other than that, yeah, the costume design and makeup for them was spot on. They don't do that a whole bunch anymore. Mostly it's like either green screen or CGI, but for the most part, it looked pretty practical. So I really respected that. Yeah, and I would say even though I know I compared it to the remake of the original of the Evil Dead, I would give this one just a 3 out of 5 because while I did enjoy it, I think it was solid. I don't think this movie would have done well in theaters, to be honest, just because I do agree with you, Bern. As much as I know I said it was paced really well, it's just a little too calm of a movie for the most part. I think they definitely could have gone a little bit more gruesome with certain stuff. So yeah, it was good, but not like anywhere near fantastic or anything. I'm not gonna keep rewatching it like I did with Prey or anything like that. So it was okay.
Yeah, like this is not one that I would discourage people from watching at all. I think you can come in and have a pretty decent, horror experience. Although I do kind of feel like maybe some people might not enjoy it because they're going in expecting it to be a little bit more intense, a little bit more gory. At least I had those impressions. So with what we got, I mean, when the kills do happen, they're pretty brutal, but they're very few and far in between. So I feel like maybe they could have like dialed it up a little bit, and that's me, someone who's not really into like a lot of like really grotesque things. I feel like even this movie played it a little bit safe on that aspect, but. Yeah, I think for me, I'm gonna go ahead and give this one a 2 out of 5. Again, a lot of my praise for this movie comes on the technical aspects. I think on all those fronts, they really knocked it out of the park. I just wish the script was a little bit better. Maybe if it like tightened things up and maybe like ramped up a little bit like on the kills and the Cenobites and exploring that aspect a little bit more and maybe giving the characters a little bit more interesting things to do, it would have been a little bit more enjoyable. But like I said, it's not horrible by any means. Even though I am giving it a 2 out of 5, I would say if someone is interested in watching this movie, they more than likely won't come away too disappointed, I think.
For sure, that's very fair. It wasn't horrible. It's just in your taste of movies, it was just okay.
Yeah, not like it's not one that I'm gonna find myself rewatching. I mean, at least from this year, in terms of like the horror movies that have come out, this would probably be on the lower end, but not terrible.
Of course, my dude. But guys, if you guys watched this movie over the weekend, what did you think of it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Have you never heard of Hellraiser before? I know the original is still on Amazon Prime right now as of this video. So if you guys want to check that one out, along with the Hulu one, go for it. You can kind of compare them both, see what you like better. But anyways, guys, we got a lot more content coming out for you. Black Adam is coming out soon, and a couple other movies. So, we got. I'm getting excited. The holiday stuff is starting to kick in. Especially Avatar 2 is only now 2 months away instead of like a billion years away. So,
yeah. Like it's finally releasing.
Exactly. But as always, guys, we look forward to seeing you guys on other episodes. Stay bodacious and keep on ranting for the both of us.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody be good, be safe, and as always, we'll catch y'all on the next one.